Joe Dirt. I see your carrier.
Yeah, I'm here. So what do you got news that's going on?
Oh, nothing really new. I just I wanted to try doing a video gate with this setup over here. Kind of doing it the same way I did it the other evening using NAP3. Basically all I'm doing is looking at NAP3. So that's where the screen capture part's coming from. The audio is actually coming from SDR console. So it kind of solves my muting problem that I was having. So now it won't mute my transmitted audio. The only drawback is for right now I actually have to listen to you on the receiver of the radio instead of through the pan adapter.
Yeah, well, I got this, these nice speakers here, so listening to the radio is not too bad. It sounds good enough, and it'll sound a little better when I get those capacitors from you. So, I got my headphones hooked up to the SDR receiver. So, if I really want to listen to something real close, I'll put on the headphones and that's there, and that way I get both the transmit and receive. But just listening to the radio, whenever you're, just rag chewing, you're doing other stuff while you're talking, and, you get, it's not a bad way to listen.
Oh yeah, 410. Well, listening to the receiver in this 950 SDX, I've done all the capacitor modifications for it, and I've got a pretty good, it's the standard Kenwood SP940 speaker, which is a pretty good speaker. It's not a badass sound system, but it works. It sounds good, so it's not bad. It's just not quite as badass as listening on, the good surround sound speakers and whatnot off of the pan adapter into the computer there, 410.
Yeah, and then the selectable filters, and yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about that, having something, because I kind of designed this, and incorporated it so I could pick up both sides of the conversation, and yeah, well, it kind of makes it a little difficult to listen to, especially when you run all this software stuff, so you got the delay. Not only do you get the delay to the hardware interface, you get the delay in the software that you're running, and then you also have the delay of the software you're running to receive. So it starts adding up after a while.
Yeah, 410. Well, and I think, my long-term plan is eventually I'll modify my TR relay. Since I don't really use it as a TR relay anymore, so I won't have to mute the receiver of a separate receiver, I'll basically just use that part of it to break the audio connection out of the sound card. So I'll be able to listen to it eventually. But I need to take that TR relay apart and do a bunch of work to it. And, when I originally built it, I put a bunch of big relays in there because that's what I had laying around. Well, the next thing I want to do is I want to take it apart and I want to build a board with basically just a relay board with a bunch of smaller relays inside. Kind of tidy things up and make it easier to fit more into it, and that way I can still use it the way it was originally built as a relay for a transmitter-receiver combination. So anyhow, that'll be one of those projects to work on this winter at some point when I get time.
Yeah, I keep changing stuff around, so my bench is changing. I had to add in that tuner. It's a monstrosity. But oh well, I guess it works, and I've had it forever and didn't really pay much for it. So, and it'll handle those the pair of Z's, so I guess I can't complain too much, but should be nice to have a bypass on it to where, like you go down to a different band and that you're resonant on, you just hit the bypass button, and I don't have to hook a cordless drill up to the inductor.
Yeah, 410, man. Yeah, that's the cool thing about this tuner I recently got is for the inductor, instead of having a roller inductor like my old tuner has, it's just got how many positions is it? It's got to be about 20 taps on it, but it's basically just a switch with a whole bunch of taps on it for inductors. And so, the inductor it's real fast. And the thing tunes, it tunes just about everything I've tried to tune with it. It's got a bypass mode, and it's rated for, I think, 2,000 or 2,500 watts continuous. So it should hopefully, fingers crossed, handle my pair of GU84Bs without any problem. I guess as long as I'm not trying to run 5,000 watts continuous or 6,000 watts continuous, I should be okay.
Well, you probably won't be able to run the thing full tilt boogie into a huge mismatch either. That'll probably be it. But doing slight mismatches, it probably wouldn't have any issue at all. I forgot to look up here what that tuner you got. Oh man, there's no pictures of it. Damn it, I'm wanting a picture. See, what's really nice about doing this SDR program and only doing the screen capture on one part of the screen and having a big ass monitor, I can still have my web browser open and not have it get in the way of the recording.
Yeah, 410. Yeah, you need a badass video card. In fact, that's one thing I want to get here is a good video card, and run a second monitor here. That way I could actually have like one SDR program opened up on one monitor and another SDR program opened up on the other monitor. And then of course, to really do it right, I should have a quad core computer, which this one's a dual core, which works, but I'm getting pretty close to maxing the CPU out right now as we speak.
Because you're still running both programs on that computer, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That way I can get the transmitted and received audio with the one SDR program, which is SDR console, and then NAP3 is basically just the visual part of it, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Well, are you eventually going to phase out that NAP3 and just go, oh, wait, yeah, no, that controls your radio, so you kind of want to do, you want to use that to control the rig too, correct?
Yeah, 410. I can, mainly the nice thing about it is it follows the rig. And so, when you're looking at the actual screen capture, it'll show what frequency I'm actually transmitting and receiving on, whereas SDR console. In fact, here, just for the sake of this screen capture recording, I'll just click on SDR console so you can see in the recording what SDR console looks like as we're speaking. There's SDR console. And you see it's at 8.836 megahertz. So it's looking right at the actual IF output frequency. So you go back to NAP3 and you'll see that it's following. It's looking at that 8.83 megahertz IF frequency, but it's actually displaying what the radio is showing. So, the nice thing is with that is it follows you on sideband. When, you change the upper sideband or lower sideband, you put the offsets in there, and it follows you. No, it's if it didn't mute the damn receiver on transmit, it would be perfect. Unfortunately, it automatically mutes that receiver, so to actually use it for getting a water gate is kind of cumbersome.
No, what? So it has to know when it's being muted. What about that wire that I was talking about? Do you have a way to bypass or lift one of those wires so that way it doesn't automatically mute it, like I was talking about?
I don't know about that. And that brings up, of course, the person I'm going to ask about this is the guru when it comes to all this stuff, old Bill. I'll have to, I don't know, pick his brain a little bit, see if he knows how that works, as far as if I can like just lift a wire and it won't know that it's transmitting.
Yeah, because then you can just use that for recording, get both sides of the conversation, and then use the dongle for just a wide band scope. Because I kind of wish, I don't think I can expand this this recording here while I'm talking now. It won't let me. But I have it, centered on my first IF frequency. And even though I'm taking like you got the main big waterfall spectrum down at the bottom, I'm only viewing, 300 kilohertz wide because I was listening to some of the HF bands. But it's got a slider down at the bottom, so I can still slide it and move 1 megahertz down and 1 megahertz up from my the center frequency, and that kind of makes it really nice as far as looking up and down the band.
Yeah, 410. Well, and see, NAP3, of course, limits you to 192 kilohertz. Because that's all the sound card's good for. Since it uses instead of using a dongle, it uses that the pan adapter, which goes through the sound card. So the sound card is the limiting factor there, and it's got the same deal. You can slide up and down, but of course everything rolls off beyond the edges of that 192 kilohertz. So I mean, it has that ability. If you're viewing less than 192 kilohertz, then you can scan up and down. But if you're already at 192 kilohertz, you're just going to see where everything falls off, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Man, I put this tuner in and loaded the antenna up for this for this frequency, and the noise floor came up on this band, so you got some noise in there with you. Kind of, I don't know. I don't know if it just made it more sensitive for this frequency having the tuner in there, or if there was just such a mismatch. It attenuated everything, so maybe my noise floor didn't improve like I originally thought.
Oh, you're talking on you're actually using that flat side right now, huh? I just switched over to my 6-element flat side, trying to swing it around your way. Maybe give me a little bit more of a longer key there. I'll try to dial it in on you. I'm actually not sure which way it's pointed right now.
Yeah, I've been screwing around with the attenuator buttons, and I lifted one of them, the 12 dB, and your signal obviously came up and had a little bit better signal to noise ratio. But then I'm picking up some sort of other electrical interference in there that I wasn't with that button pressed. So we'll just maybe you can just swing around and get a little better signal on me. Yeah, that's kind of disappointing. I was really excited when that noise floor dropped, but oh well. I guess there's no way to get around that electronic noise or electrical noise.
Oh yeah, 410. Yeah. I don't know. I think I get the 6 elements pointed at you, so hopefully that's a little bit better. But yeah, now, did you run open ladder line out to that antenna, or do you run in coax and balun?
I ran coax and a balun. Man, I've been doing so much reading on antennas, and this is damn near giving me a headache. So, I really wanted to do that off-center fed dipole, because just the layout where I can mount the antenna, the feed point, it would have been perfect amount of off-center, and stretch it across my yard. Just the actual logistics of laying it out and places to hang it. It was awesome. But to hit all the bands, so the benefit to that antenna is you get the multi-band operation. Well, to get all the bands, you have to tune 80 meters for 3.55 megahertz. Well, that's in the next quite a few years. That's probably going to not even be an option for me. So then that allows you to hit the other bands on up. And, that just wasn't tuning down that low and having a ridiculously high SWR on the general side. I mean, that's just that, why? It wouldn't have worked for me. I would have had to have a tuner hooked up all the time. My plan is not to have a tuner hooked up all the time and just play around with just the tuner on the radio. And, if I were to feed the dipole with the ladder line, obviously that'd give me the multi-band operation on the, and it'll allow me to tune, pretty much anything with just the 80 meter dipole ladder line. But, the higher band you go, you start getting the lobes off your antenna. You don't get a true, real omnidirectional antenna. It's kind of, a little bit scattered. So then, that fan dipole, like what you did, just seems more appealing the more and more I think about it, because, instead of running off of harmonic resonance, you can actually tune your antenna to where you want. You don't have to have a 4-to-1 balun. You just have to have just a 1-to-1 current choke. Yeah, and it just seems like a pretty easy antenna for a little bit more effort. So that's kind of where I'm at now. So I'll do the fan dipole with the 1-to-1 balun that I got up there, and maybe play around with some other stuff. But that's pretty much. If I do that, then I wouldn't need a tuner. So, and this thing's kind of I think I looked up when it was made. It was made in, I think, 1979. So it's not really nice to use. I mean, it's good and it works. I figure if I use this antenna, or if I use this tuner, I'll probably just have it fixed on a certain band and bypass it with like an antenna switch or something.
Yeah, 410. Well, and if you need a tuner, I still have that MFJ, which has a bypass switch. And I'm trying to think. It's got a bypass switch. Yeah, it's got a couple like different output options too. I think I can't remember exactly how it works, but I don't know. It's an all right tuner. I didn't like the inductor on it because it seemed like it never really repeated. If, in other words, you put it in the same spot twice, it wouldn't always tune in exactly the same. But yeah, this is a good tuner. If you want to try it out sometime, let me know.
Oh yeah, no, I'll might hit you up on that later on when I'd actually use it. So, another thing, I was thinking about doing was that the SCR server, and having a wide band operation, but with this tuner hooked up, it doesn't, it narrow bands everything. So right now, if you go down to 80, and there won't be any signal because it's, it's tuned up here. So that'd be another benefit to the fan dipole is having the dongle hooked up and having if you or let's say Bill or somebody wants to log on to it and check out band conditions, that'd be an easy way to check it out, or also just do a radio check.
Yeah, 410. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I will say that once you get a fan dipole up, especially if you're trying, well, obviously you're going to be trying to use it for multiple bands, you will want to have the tuner available to hit the band edges, because I mean you can tune it for whatever part of the band you want to talk on and talk there most of the time. But if you ever want to drift very far, especially on 80 and 40, they are pretty narrow banded.
Yeah, I get what was I getting? I was getting 3.8. I was getting SWR2 on 3.9. I was right at 1.4. And at 4, I was right at about, I think, 2.5. So, and everything I've been reading seems like that's pretty much the way it's supposed to be. I can get the center down a little bit more. I see some people getting their matches down to 1-to-1 with the inverted V, but I was kind of looking at mine, and mine's not quite a perfect 90. One leg's kind of at a 45, and the other leg's kind of like at a 30 maybe. So that's not that's probably what's giving me the 1.4 on the center frequency.
Yeah, 410. Yeah, and mine's pretty much, I don't know, I would say it holds pretty true to what you're saying there, that probably at about 3.8 it's above 2, at 4 it's above 2, and around 3.9 it's pretty acceptable. I think mine, at least on 80 meters, it's pretty low, like 1.2 or something, 1.3, I can't remember exactly. But it's, it's a decent antenna. It works. It gets the job done. If you ask a lot of people, they'll say that you need to get them up higher in the air than what I have mine, and mine's 48 feet to the center. And the edges, I'm trying to think how high off the ground the ends are. Probably, I don't know, around 20 feet off the ground on the ends.
Yeah, mine are about 5 to 6 feet off the ground. The end and the center is about 30 feet. And seems to be that's kind of just the norm. What your average residential household seems to get theirs up in the air. But so far it's working. I gotta it's kind of up there, kind of temporarily. I stuck that balun up there on the pole. So the pole that I was using, I didn't expect the balun to weigh as much as it did on the end of that pole with the wire on it. So I don't know. I might put the balun down at the bottom of the pole and run some ladder line up to it. Still, I don't know yet. But if I ever have to run a antenna tuner, I might just run the ladder line out to it and call it good. So I don't know. I mean, it's easy enough to screw around with. Hey, what length did yours end up coming out to be on 80?
Oh, gosh. I honestly do not remember. I know I've got it written down somewhere, but it would probably take me 20 minutes to figure out where I wrote that down. And I know it's definitely shorter than even what, like if you calculate out what an inverted V should be, a dipole inverted, or what am I thinking? A multi-band inverted V should be on 80 meters with a fan dipole. Mine's shorter. And I'm assuming, I can't remember if I figured that in with the insulation on the wire. I don't remember if I figured that into the equation. But I know I had to trim quite a bit off of it.
Yeah, everybody I was reading said make it long, so I made mine long. I trimmed like 5 feet off each end. So, but then I went through and back on there and did the calculator and re-put in my numbers after I trimmed off 5 feet, and that's pretty much the calculator was spot on to what I cut mine at. So I think everything should be working pretty good. But it was kind of really, really disappointing. I got a hold of Message Bill last night. Man, I was trying to record him, man. We tried 40, we tried 60, we tried 80, and I could not get him in here. And he's kind of felt bad for him because, man, I really wanted. Oh, he was talking on that radio of yours too. But yeah, he said that a few months back he had that QSO with you. So I don't know what I don't know what was different between your 80 meter dipole and mine. It must have just been the band conditions, but I was kind of hoping to definitely be able to hear them.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one of those things. I don't know when you were trying to talk to them, but you just got to hit the right band at the right time. And it seems like usually 40 meters would be a good one, just before the sun goes down, and then around the time the sun goes down, that's when you'd probably want to use 80 meters. But I guess him and I, we talked on 80 is when pretty sure it was 80. And the problem with 80 is you get a lot of noise on 80. So you really, it makes it tough when you're running like 100 or 200 watts to make that talk to make the trip down to California and whatnot. You just got to hit everything just right. 40, I think, would be an easier one if you do it earlier in the evening.
Yeah, that'll be my next addition to the dipole. Let's get 40 on there. And how many bands do you say you put on yours?
Mine's 40, 80, and 160. And as soon as I get my stepper up, I'll cut the 40 meter section off of it. Because there's, the stepper's got the folded dipole for 40 meters, and it would work a lot better than that. So yeah, eventually it'll just be 80 and 160.
And you said you had some trouble getting 40 to tune?
Yeah, 40 was the most disappointing one to tune in, and I mean, the reading I did on it is like, once you get up to trying to cover 3 bands, one of them's going to be crap, and for me it ended up being 40, which doesn't matter too much to me because, like I said, I got the stepper, which will cover that in the long run.
So what did it do? You just didn't get a low reflect on it, or just a really narrow bandwidth, or what was the issue of 40?
Pretty much just a combination of both of those. And 40 meters is, it's actually a pretty big band if you're trying to cover the whole freaking thing. You got 7.175 to 7.3 megahertz. So, trying to actually cover that much at that frequency is a little bit difficult. And, so, I mean, if I wanted to cover the whole band, I definitely need a tuner.
Yeah, I wonder if I put 20 up also at the same time I did 40. I wonder if I'll have problems with that.
Well, what I found is that 40 really didn't affect 80 and 160, so I would say it wouldn't hurt anything to put 20 up, and try to probably at least keep 20 spaced as far away from the others as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm still kind of kicking around. I mean, I've still got lots of options now. I got 80 up, and that's the lowest band that I'm even going to bother going. So I got that up. So now it's all just kind of experimenting now. That one works. But I mean, with this monstrosity of a tuner that I got here, I don't think I'll have any problems at all just tuning something in if I ever want to, keep using it. Sure, it's probably going to be a little bit lossy with the 50 ohm coax, but it'll work. I don't know how it'll do with the pair of 3500Zs though. Probably have to have a resonant antenna for if I wanted to use that with this tuner, but just this radio, the 100 watts out, probably wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, 410. Well, and I don't know. I mean, yeah, like you say, if you're gonna want to run a pair of 500Zs, you'd really want to have it, be using the antenna in a spot where it's tuned. And I'm sure it wouldn't be a bad deal if you were, like you say, trying to talk on the band edges and just using the tuner to kind of knock it down a little bit. You probably still run the pair of 500Zs, but if you're trying to, like say, with what you got now, you're talking on 11 meters with it, you need the tuner, definitely. And for something like that, yeah, you probably wouldn't want to run the pair of 500Zs.
No, I think the standing wave was up around 4. Because I was actually pretty impressed it tuned it down. There hasn't been, I played around with the dial a little bit, and I really didn't find anywhere where it seemed to be having an issue. Yeah, I didn't calculate what the non-resonant frequency was and tried that, but oh well. I got plenty of time to play around with it and find those spots.
Oh yeah, 410. Yeah. If you want to spend a lot of time fucking with shit, get yourself a tuner and a tube amplifier. You spend a lot of time tuning.
I don't really want to, but I have everything, so it's like the part of me goes, it'd be nice just to push the button and talk. But the other part of me is like, well, I don't want to spend no money, so I guess I got what I got. I got to turn knobs.
Yeah, and it's amazing how much it costs to have something that turns the knobs for itself. You look at an amplifier that's a no-tune amplifier, even something that uses a tube. It costs 2 to 3 times as much as a manual tune amplifier. And the thing is like, once you got your settings, you just write them down, and then the next time you want to use that same frequency, you just go right back to those same settings, and it should work just fine. So the only thing that a manual tune amplifier is bad for is if you actually like to consume adult beverages while you operate said equipment.
Oh, man, that might be a problem.
Yeah, I know. I know exactly what you mean. It's two things that's hard to separate.
Yeah, it's so bad I almost need a urinal next to my radio.
Or like just a jar or something?
The wife might, I don't know what she'd think. Well, I guess we'll find out.
Oh boy. Make sure she doesn't hear this recording so she doesn't think you got the idea from me.
Well, yeah. I guess if I'm in here doing this, she normally doesn't come in and bug me at all. So yeah, I'll probably be all right as long as I empty it every night.
Yeah, make sure you empty it. That's always a good bit of advice.
I make Tyler empty it. He's always in trouble for something. That could be one of his punishments.
Yeah, and he can get in more trouble when he forgets to empty it.
Yeah, so he has to empty it more. This empties right there.
I stepped on the key right after you started talking. What was that?
Oh, I said that's like endless empties right there.
Yeah, I know. That's like a perpetual motion machine. Anyhow, I think I'm probably going to wrap up this gate here in a couple minutes. I don't know if there's anything you wanted to fuck with at all. I think we're going on at least over half an hour. I don't know how long it's been going, but yeah.
Yeah, mine's just hit 35 minutes. No, I mean, I pretty much got heard what I wanted to on the last recording. I didn't have I got my gains, my input gain cut back. That was one of those knobs and adult beverages incidents. So luckily before, when you said you wanted to do a water gate, I came in here and laid everything out. Okay, everything's working, and then I walked away. Then I got a text from you. Then I came back, and I think that worked out pretty well for me.
Yeah, 410. Yeah, I was fucking with this stuff earlier today, and so yeah, I kind of left everything on and like set up and in place so that even myself was able to come right back and pick it up and didn't have to go adjust a bunch of shit to get it ready. So yeah, hopefully, man, like I say, the main reason I wanted to do this one is I did a little bit of adjustment with some of my, mainly attenuation, whatnot, kind of try to level everything out, and then I wanted to see how well it would do a video gate with both of these SDR programs and Microsoft Expression actually doing the video or video gating. Right now I'm showing like 90 some, bounce between 80 and 90% CPU usage. So I'm about at the max. I need a badass quad core to really do anything more, but hopefully this will turn out all right. And this will also be a good test for me because I'm going to have to put this on my cell phone and upload it from there because I now no longer have internet. So yeah, cell phone is all I have. So I have to encode this and then put it on my cell phone and upload it from the cell phone. So it'll probably take at least a half an hour to get all that done.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm running the Microsoft Expression and the SDR console. And I'm bouncing in between the lowest I've seen it go, or the highest I've seen it go is 5% CPU usage, and the lowest is about 3. So yeah, you need a badass quad. And I got stuff open, web browsers, and all that stuff. I was doing some research while I was on your tuner there. That's a pretty nice tuner. I think that thing will work pretty good. I mean, there's something else I was going to say. Damn it. Now I forgot.
Was it about elk hunting?
Oh, no. You got a extended sideband on there? Because I think I got the filters for this set where I can just click a button and I got all the offsets. So if you go under SDR, the menu up top on SDR console, and you go click on the memories, it saves the frequency, mode, and filter width.
Yeah, I was actually looking at that earlier today, and I was thinking, hey, there's the solution for different modes of operation. Just save your settings, and then when you want to actually go use them, you click on that. Right now, I'll go ahead and close this gate out, and then if you want to do some extended sideband, give me a minute and I can do that. Just let me close the gate first, and then I gotta see about opening another track for my audio here. So give me just a minute.
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and close mine out. Stop it. It's at 40 minutes. Well, I might as well let it go. I got to encode it anyways. It's not like, I might as well just upload one gate, I guess. I got a quad core.